Welcome to today's show, Rethinking COVID Vaccines and the Benefits of a Vegan Defense Against Pandemics, right here on Supreme Master Television. What if the health solutions we rely on aren't the full story? COVID-19 vaccines are viewed by some as a reliable source against the coronavirus. But could there be more to consider? Most of us think side effects and with a sore arm, but some long-term consequences might be going unnoticed. What if the real health risks lie beyond what's commonly reported? Big questions about these vaccines are making waves around the world. But let's zoom in on the state of Idaho in the U.S. In 2024, it became the first state where a public health board banned COVID-19 vaccines and no longer offered it to residents, stating the risks now outweigh the benefits. This move reflects growing COVID vaccine skepticism fueled by doubts over messenger ribonucleic acid or mRNA technology. A study in the journal Frontiers in Medicine asks an important question. Are we missing rare side effects from COVID-19 vaccines? It points out that our safety monitoring systems, while crucial, have some blind spots. For instance, not everyone reports post-vaccination symptoms, especially if they're mild or show up much later. Additionally, figuring out whether an issue is caused by the vaccine or something else, such as a pre-existing condition, can be challenging. The reporting systems can also be biased, often focusing on severe or immediate reactions and lacking detailed data. Experts suggest that these systems still need improvement to ensure that adverse events are adequately captured and studied. These safety monitoring gaps have real consequences. In the UK, the Medicines and Healthcare Products Regulatory Agency, or MHRA, is under scrutiny. In 2024, a group of members of parliament alleged the agency failed to properly warn the public quickly enough about serious COVID vaccine risks, such as heart problems and blood clots, even though these issues were identified by the agency beginning in February 2021. It took several months for it to list these issues in safety updates. The All-Party Parliamentary Group, or APPG, on Pandemic Response and Recovery has criticized the entity, stating, far from protecting patients, the regulator operates in a way that puts them at serious risk. With ongoing concerns about vaccine oversight, new evidence is shedding light on health risks linked to mRNA COVID-19 vaccines. One key issue is myocarditis, an inflammation of the heart muscle. A recent study published in October 2024 in the journal eClinical Medicine found that this condition is most commonly seen in male adolescents, and myocardial injury was more likely to present after the first or second dose of a mRNA vaccine versus the third dose. If someone developed myocarditis, they could experience symptoms like chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or a rapid or irregular heartbeat. These signs may emerge within days of vaccination, and experts urge anyone experiencing them to seek medical attention without delay. A growing body of evidence on vaccine injuries is sparking important questions about what's behind vaccine-related myocarditis. Scientists are investigating whether the immune response triggered by mRNA vaccines like Pfizer, BioNTech, and Moderna could be a factor. These vaccines instruct cells to produce a spike protein similar to the one found in SARS-CoV-2, the virus that causes COVID-19. This process might pose a potential risk as the immune system could mistakenly confuse certain proteins in the heart with this spike protein, a process known as molecular mimicry. This mix-up could lead to inflammation and damage in the heart muscle, much like what happens in severe COVID-19 cases. COVID-19 vaccines have also been linked to other immune-related conditions, such as blood clotting disorders. A review published in the journal Biomedicines in October 2023 took a closer look at these concerns. The study highlights a rare condition called vaccine-induced immune thrombocytopenia and thrombosis, or VITT, which has been associated with adenovirus-based vaccines, such as the Oxford-AstraZeneca vaccine. VITT happens when the immune system mistakenly produces harmful PF4 antibodies that attack a blood protein called platelet factor 4, triggering serious clotting issues. A study from Flinders University in Australia, published in the New England Journal of Medicine, has uncovered crucial evidence demonstrating identical molecular structure of these PF4 antibodies, whether produced by common cold infections or by the vaccine. Professor Tom Gordon explained, these findings indicate a common triggering factor on virus and vaccine structures that initiates the pathological PF4 antibodies. In 2024, AstraZeneca admitted in court documents for the first time that its adenovirus-based Oxford-AstraZeneca vaccine can cause thrombosis with thrombocytopenia syndrome, or TTS, a rare but serious side effect. This admission comes as legal cases unfold, including that of Jamie Scott, a 47-year-old British father of two and former IT engineer who suffered a brain injury linked to blood clots after vaccination. Sarah Moore, a lawyer representing Mr. Scott and other plaintiffs, expressed concern about the timing of this acknowledgement, stating, "It has taken AstraZeneca a year to formally admit that their vaccine can cause the devastating blood clots." In related developments, also in 2024, AstraZeneca withdrew this vaccine from the market worldwide. Concerns about COVID-19 vaccine safety are making headlines, with major manufacturers like AstraZeneca under the spotlight. Such adverse events have raised questions about a possible link to excess deaths since the pandemic started. A study from Vrije Universiteit Amsterdam in the Netherlands identified a rise in excess mortality of 3 million across 47 Western nations between 2020 and 2022, urging further investigation into potential vaccine-related risks. Emerging studies are raising questions about the potential long-term effects of COVID-19 vaccines, including cancer risks. A study from Japan reported a rise in cancer deaths after the third vaccine dose. American cardiologist Dr. Peter McCullough linked this to mRNA vaccines, citing multiple mechanisms that could promote cancer, calling the findings very disturbing, as cancer registries worldwide report unusual increases. Dr. Joseph Ladapo, the current Surgeon General for the U.S. state of Florida, has warned about residual DNA fragments in mRNA vaccines potentially integrating into human cells and affecting oncogenes or genes that can cause a normal cell to become cancerous. In one case, a high-grade sarcoma, a type of cancer, developed at the injection site in an elderly woman shortly after a Moderna vaccine dose, underlining the need for a thorough investigation into these concerning events. A recent article from the American newspaper, the New York Times, sheds light on the struggles of those injured by COVID vaccines, revealing how many who have been harmed feel ignored as their reported side effects are dismissed or downplayed. Regarding their long-term health issues, these individuals express frustration over the lack of research regarding their conditions and acknowledgement from health authorities. Neuroscientist Dr. Michelle Zimmerman of the United States, one of those affected and now suffering from brain damage from a COVID vaccination, shared her emotional journey, saying, "I'm trying not to lose hope. There will someday be a treatment and a way to cover it." As we've seen in our lifetimes, pandemics such as COVID are unpredictable and extremely deadly, and vaccines obviously are not a solution. In COVID's case, mass vaccination was an ineffective reaction to a public health emergency. This brings up the overall issue of pandemics and how we can prevent them. Many experts agree that we must look upstream to the factors that contribute to the rise of such outbreaks in the first place, addressing the root causes of pandemics, nearly all of which are due to zoonotic diseases, requires preventive measures, including rethinking our dietary choices. As climate change worsens the risks of zoonotic diseases, it's clear that food systems, public health, and environmental sustainability are all connected. One of the primary drivers of zoonotic diseases, which account for 75% of emerging infectious diseases, is intensive animal people raising activities. These environments create breeding grounds for pathogens that can easily jump from animal persons to humans, as seen with diseases like avian influenza and swine flu. The overcrowded, stressed conditions in these systems not only increase the risk of disease outbreaks, but also fuel antibiotic resistance, a growing global health threat. By adopting a vegan diet, we can end these harmful operations and mitigate these risks. Shifting away from diets relying on animal people products not only helps preserve biodiversity and natural habitats, but also limits human exposure to potentially dangerous pathogens. This proactive approach addresses the root causes of pandemics rather than relying solely on reactive solutions. Choosing a vegan lifestyle is the most cost-effective and simple way to protect yourself, humanity, our animal people, co-inhabitants, and the planet. By making this change, you can help ease the strain on healthcare systems, reduce the risk of antibiotic resistance, and, most importantly, lower the chances of another pandemic. So why not start today? Explore the colorful, delicious world of vegan foods and discover how small changes to your plate can make a big difference. Whether it's swapping a steak for a hearty lentil stew or trading ice cream for a refreshing vegan coconut sorbet, every bite brings us closer to a healthier, more sustainable future. Elegant viewers, thank you for being with us for today's show.